And it's another thing in this setting, which is so much fun, are we have lots of young children who are really learning social and emotional skills, both of themselves and of others. And I like to ask sometimes, is sharing really caring? At sea, I like to say we take turns and say the phrase share for something that you can physically break apart. Like I might share a chocolate bar, but I'm going to take turns with my pencil. Because when I'm using my pencil, I'm using my pencil. You're not going to use my pencil with me. It's a small distinction, but it can empower the children who are either using the pencil or who's waiting their turn to use the pencil next. So take turns. There's a lot more on this. When children have something in their hands, like my pencil, at sea, this pencil is mine now. I'm using it. It's in my hands. I'm actively writing with it. It's mine. And honestly, this is a developmentally appropriate thing. Children are working hard when they're playing. They're working at building blocks or taking care of that baby or taking care of those 3 babies or 4 babies. So having their thing in their hands is important to them. It's theirs, and I like to honor that. So if a child is actively playing with something, I like to say, that's theirs, they're using it, it's in their hands. Now the flip coin of that is oftentimes when there's another child who is experiencing sadness because they want this pencil, they want it. And I like to pause here, and as much as you don't want your kids or other kids to be upset, and you don't want your child to be the one who causes someone else to feel bad. Working through these feelings of sadness is really important for young children. They need to be able to A, experience being sad, and then B, work through these feelings of sadness to come out the other side without necessarily getting what they want. They could, if it might work out for them sometimes, but not always. So what do we do about this conundrum? I've just said the child who is holding onto the pencil is his, and then another child sad. So we'll go on to the next page of our dynamic. So for the child who said it's mine, which is great, I really want to turn their attention not from giving up their toy, but to realizing that what they're doing is impacting another child. So I might say, Meredith, you're using this pencil. Cynthia really wants that pencil. She's really sad. I can see she's crying. She maybe went over to her caregiver. Like, what should we do to make her feel better? And then I might offer some choices. So I might say, Meredith, we can bring Cynthia another toy. Maybe she wants the green highlighter. Sometimes it's great to try and get the kids to play together. Be like, we could play a game where I draw a line and Cynthia draws a line. That doesn't always work. Sometimes it's just a matter of acknowledging that child's sad. So be like, she's crying. Maybe she needs a tissue. Let's get a tissue for her so that she feels a little bit better. Or maybe we can pat her on the back. Again, we're still allowing this child who's pretty interested in their pencil to keep it without having to give it up. And I like to say sometimes to adults, you're not going to give up your car or your bike or your house or even your latte just because somebody else was like, hey, I want that. Like, you're like, no, this is mine. Why would I do that? So you have to think about this in terms of how the children are interacting with the world. They're finally got something that's interesting to them, and they're working on it, and in their minds, it is theirs. This is what they're using right now. So for the child who's experiencing sadness, again, I might use that phrase, maybe later. Maybe we can play with it later. We can look for something else to do. We can wait a turn, which is probably the hardest of them to do. They can offer to play together. And you can also just kind of be with them in their sadness for at least a little bit. It's just morning. The couple little, splitting of hairs here is if a child has lots and lots of, say, baby dolls in their hands, I might say you have 1, 2, 3, 4 baby dolls, and Cynthia has no baby dolls. we need to give Cynthia like one baby doll. Which baby doll do you want to give her? And again, this is giving them a little bit of a choice, but they're still going to give up a baby doll. But I don't always do that, because if they have 4 blocks and they're building a tower, those 4 blocks have become a tower, and I'm not going to say, oh, break your tower to give Cynthia a block if they're working on it. So does anyone have any questions about that? Not everyone's used to this, but I do find that once the class gets used to it, it's really helpful, and the children get used to it too, and we'll start using words like, it's in my hands. So we're reaching towards the end. Let's see. So I'd like to talk for a second about what at C we love about what we believe about learning and why we love to learn. So my goal as a teacher here is to make sure that your children are interested in what we're learning about, and that they really discover that learning is fun and exciting and novel. And learning isn't always easy. Learning can be challenging and sometimes can be difficult. It can be a task to learn something new. But what I really want to do is set them up for creating this want to know more, to look at the world and say, I wonder what causes that. I want to learn more. I want to learn, and I want to put in the work and the effort, and maybe have to come back to it next week or the week after to really learn. I also really want to celebrate the joy they have when they've learned something. And so foster this curiosity, celebrate their successes, love their joy, and encourage them to keep working when things get hard. It's not always easy to learn. I think everyone, whether it be early in life or hard in life, will come to a task that they really have to work at, and they'll have to decide if they want to keep going. And I want for this to be like an intrinsic, deep inside of your children thing, that they want to keep working because they want to learn. They want to discover something new, come up with a solution, be creative. All of these factors are what we're striving to instill in them. And in addition to this social, emotional respect of others, and this idea that if someone else in their class is feeling a certain way, happy or sad, to note it, and then to celebrate their happiness, and then try and make them feel better if they're feeling upset. And with time in the class, really we get this community of people who really kind of get to know one another, and it's really very, very sweet to see a child say, oh, I'm playing with this toy, but I know that Cynthia's favorite color is red, so I'm going to get her a red pencil because I think that might make her feel better. And to just, have kids who can't even say that sentence, but be able to, at least at the beginning of the year, can't say that sentence, but then be able to act on that feeling is really amazing. Lastly, I just want to talk about our caregiver education or partnership. I strongly believe that parents and caregivers in our class are experts in taking care of and loving their children, and they are experts in their child. So when you come into our class, you are an expert in your child, you're an expert in taking care of them. And then Mary Beth and I we're the experts in the education. We'll take over a little bit and help you guide them into how to integrate academic skills into everyday life, and how to really think deeply about museum objects. And we can help with questions. If you have questions about developmental milestones or things, we can help with all of that. But we truly believe that you guys play such an important role in our classroom. And then Cynthia talked about this too, but I found that if we have a strong community, that makes this class lovely. So, you'll see a child who is having a hard time coming to circle, and you'll be like, hey, come on over. You can sit next to me today, and they love it. Or taking the time, to play with other children. It's the beginning of the year right now, and you're probably just basking in enjoying to get to know the classroom with your own child. But as time goes on, you're going to notice these other children grow and develop, and give them some time. That's what you're doing. It becomes a true community, and that's I think one of the things that makes the really special. It's really to me regularly a community of people who care for these little people who are running all around. I think it's basically the end of my part. We're just at the conclusion. Do you guys have any questions? Anything?
Anything? Okay. Well, we can't thank you guys enough for taking some time out of your day. We certainly appreciate it, and we're really looking forward to the upcoming year. And just to reiterate what Meredith said, in addition to the conferences, we're always here to have a chat. If there's something you want to talk about, or if there's a problem, please feel free to reach out to us. We're here for you. So that said, we hope that you enjoy the rest of this, what looks like it'll be a rainy day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.